What's up, guys? We are back. UFC Vegas 108. Taira versus Hung Young Park. I'm your host, Picks by Pegasus. I'm here with Dravey, T3 Picks. Here we are, looking down the barrel of a dog shit card, but at least it's a card. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join our Discord so you get our bets, get our breakdowns, stuff like that. Come chat with the community. We're cashing tickets. Tough night of fights we have ahead of us, right, guys? Not really much to say there. It's just going to be an ugly slop fest, to say the least.
Honestly, I think there's like 3 bangers on it. But yeah, outside of that, it's not really a good card. But, like Duncan, Rebecki, Ribovics, Brenner's, and Vallejos, Silva. Yeah, it's like these 3 fights. And the main event I also really like. So, yeah, I mean, it's not the best card, obviously. But, yeah, I think there's like 4 really good fights that I'm excited about. So at least that's that.
All right, so let's get right into this one. First fight of the night, Piera Rodriguez versus Souza.
I think the first fight is Bashi on Topology, at least.
All right. Oh, I can't open that. Well, we're gonna go with this one. We're gonna go Piera Rodriguez, Souza.
Okay, let's do Bashi after.
Okay. Piera Rodriguez 10-2, Souza 15-5. Both from Brazil. One is from Venezuela. We want to check out feet again. Pereira, Gremlin Toes, Souza.
We're gonna let you handle that part. It's not live, so it's not even as funny when people are not in here.
No, people will ask about it later.
You're literally just being weird. So she's just a weird guy.
All right. Line plus 165 for Souza. Pereira Rodriguez minus 190. Key low level girls fight. I'll let you start. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I went into this wanting to be on Souza, but I got to this tape late today actually to finish. But Pierre is aggressive. She fights hard. She knows what she does well. She's gonna go after takedowns nonstop. I don't think the Souza has great hips. One, her takedown defense in general looks sus. But 2, I just don't. I think that she can sometimes be too okay with playing off of her back. And I don't think she shows enough urgency at scrambles. I think that Pierre is just going to want it more. I can see Souza cracking Pierre early maybe, but Pierre is tough. I think that Pierre probably gets this done. Price is a little steep for me personally because I don't see much finish upside for Pierre. So I probably wish I would have gotten in early. At this point, it's minus 200 currently on BetOnline. I wish I would have gotten in early numbers, but I think at this point, it's a pass.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, honestly. Souza is my girl. She subbed, what was her name? She subbed the Mexican last time as a big dog. So she's my girl for that. Never forget that. But Pereira seems like she knows what to do, get takedowns, top time. I don't think she's going to be in any danger grappling wise. Probably give Souza a slight edge on the feet, but nothing too crazy to write home about. Not thrilled about this fight. I guess I got to go with Pereira or Piera as well as a pick, but I'm not touching this. Job, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Piera's the side. On the feet, is going to play out close, obviously. I think Piera on the feet, she's more durable than Souza. People are kind of forget, but Souza has been finished multiple times on the regional. And she's been finished in the UFC on her debut too, but it was up a weight class and, by a submission. I don't think she's going to get submitted here. But, on the feet, I think Piera is the more durable girl. And I think they're going to compete on the striking. I think Souza has a bit more power and she's more mean on the feet in general. But I mean, the wrestling upside for Rodriguez is massive to me here. She attempted 10 takedowns in a couple of her fights, and she averaged 4 takedowns per fight with 51% accuracy. That's pretty good. And on the other end, when you watch Souza, her takedown defense is not really good, and she can do some, dumb mistakes, jumping the guillotine, playing off her back a bit. she's been taking down early pretty easily against Angela Hill, but then Angela Hill decided not to grapple after that. And I also think that Rodriguez is going to have success in the clinch. So, yeah, I think she's going to win the clinch. I think she's going to make it close on the feet, but I project her to land like maybe 3-4 takedowns in that fight. And even though she doesn't have the best top control, the way she's shooting her entries are pretty good. And Souza, to me, is just a girl that's going to lose minutes on bottom and in the clinch in this fight. So if I think it's going to be close on the feet, but I think one girl has, maybe 10, 6, 7 minutes of top control and wrestling upside, I think she's warranting to be like, I don't know, around minus 230, 70%. So I think at minus 200 personally. There's still a bit of value, nothing too crazy, but yeah, she's more durable too. And I think she's the side here.
Gotcha. All right. Next fight here. You said you want to go with Austin Bashi. So Austin Bashi versus John Yannis. Austin Bashi 13-1. John Yannis, what's he, like 9-2 or something like that? If I remember correctly. I don't have it in front of me. It's 0-0 right now. Odds in this line. Odds in these two gentlemen.
He's 9-3.
9-3. See, that's close. 9-2. One of these two gentlemen is not out on fight odds yet. It's funny, they're charging for a premium and they're still ass.
It's minus 550 Bashi plus 400 Yannis on Bet Online.
All right, minus 550 Bashi, minus. There you go. Key or drop set it. Looking at this fight, I'll go first here. I already have a bet. I played the opener on DraftKings on Austin Bashi minus 260. Reason is, if you go back, you don't really Bashi. We know what you're getting with him. Good wrestler, good grappler, decent striker, getting better at Muay Thai.
Were you about to say you don't really need to go back and tape Bashi? Is that what you were about to say?
No. I was going to say you don't have to go far back and tape.
Okay, far back. Yeah, okay.
You don't have to go far back and tape John Yannis. Because if you go look at one fight back and you go look at how he dealt with Nick Aguilar, who is a much worse grappler and a much worse BJJ player than Bashi is, in my opinion. You can see him taking Yannis's back, pretty much out grappling him, out wrestling him, finding the submission. I mean, I think the submission is going to be so clear here. I think ITD is minus 105 for Bashi, so sub is probably going to be something similar. Maybe you get plus 110, but I think Bashi's going to find the sub pretty early here. This is just Yannis's way to get into the UFC and the way to keep Bashi on the car and get him back in the win column. What do you think, Drop?
Honestly, I didn't have time to tape Yannis, so I don't have much opinion. But yeah, Bashi to me is a good prospect at 23 years old, and I think his grappling is pretty good. I think him losing his last fight is probably going to be good for him. But yeah, Yannis fought at 140 in his last fight, which is kind of, it's kind of weird, and it was only 2 months ago, and it was you got to finish in round 4. So that's kind of, I'm not a fan of that, taking that fight on short notice like that, making his debut. Bashi should probably roll, but like I said, I don't know much about this guy. I only watch quick highlights, and I didn't tape him much. So you said he's a bad grappler, so if that's the case, like he should lose this.
Yeah, not a very good grappler. Key, what do you think?
Yeah, getting backpacked by Nick Aguirre. Bashi's going to show levels on the mat. Back take, round 1 sub, I could see. Yeah, Bashi all day long here.
All right. Next fight. What's next after that one? Is it the Stevam Bunes fight?
Let me tell you that right now. Yes, correct.
All right. So we got Rafael Stevam versus Felipe Bunes. Estevam's 13-0. Bunes is 14-7. Estevam's been taking time off because of injuries, stuff like that going on. He's 13-0, 5'8", 69-inch reach. Bunes, we all know him. Dog, 14-7, 5'7", 126 pounds, 69-inch reach as well. Odds on these two gentlemen, Stevam is minus 460, Felipe Bunes plus 360. Key, is this an Stevam is just going to grapple him for 15 minutes spot, and we're going to watch Bunes play just fight from guard, or is this going to be a closer fight on the feet? What do you think?
I think Stevam probably top times him. But Estevam's cardio has looked sus before, and I believe he's getting this on short notice here.
3 weeks notice.
Yeah, so I don't love that at all. So that's for me why this isn't like just an easy give me parlay piece or something. I think minus 460 is probably a little wide. Bunes will play guard off of his back. I think it's bad looks, but could create some hairy situations late. So maybe Bunes live, depending on how this looks. But I think Esteban probably top times him.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think Bunes may look live here, but don't necessarily plan to time upside of Esteban. BJJ is very good, so Bunes won't be as much of a threat from his guard. On the feet, probably Bunes' fight, but I don't think it'll be on the feet very long. Job, what are you thinking?
I mean, Bunes doesn't really have good cardio either, honestly. Like he's
No.
slowing down in some fights. Like he said, he's playing guard, getting taken down. He fought a bunch of Russian in ACA. I was able to watch these fights, and he's getting taken down. It's not like he's not showing the worst process in the grappling. Like I think he's a BJJ black belt, and his submission are actually pretty decent. But Estevam, like he has his flaw. Obviously, his round 3 optics are garbage, and his cardio is really shaky. But I mean, in round 1 and 2, he's kind of he's a very hard guy to deal with. Honestly, he was just beating Charles Johnson pretty badly in the first 2 rounds, and he has good ground and pound, a good top game. Yeah, I think he's solid, honestly, and to me here he's just a better fighter all around. I don't think Bunes presents that much of a threat on the feet, and doesn't have really the cardio to finish him late like someone. Estevam's going to be a fade like sooner than later, obviously, but I think it's a fight where he should get takedowns pretty easily. And if Bunes is not trying to work his way back up, I don't really think he's going to get tired as easy as like Jesus Aguilar, for example. But that was bad, bro. He was always trying to get the back and falling off. I don't know if you guys recall, but that was really bad look there. I don't know what was going on, but I think on top with his ground and pound, with his top game, he's normally pretty good. But I didn't really like his last fight. But yeah, he should win this. But I think it's 3 weeks and a half notice, so it's not like super short notice. He should be fine cardio wise, but that's also someone who really struggled to make weight. So I don't really like that, especially with his cardio late. So
all right, next fight is Rodolfo Vieira versus Tresean Gore. Vieira coming off a loss to Petroski. He's 10-3, 6 feet tall, 185. Tresean Gore, 6'3, 6 feet tall, 186. Odds in these two gentlemen, you can get Rodolfo Vieira anywhere he's about minus 225. Tresean Gore is plus 190. I think this fight's actually going to be pretty interesting. Joe, I'm going to have you go first. Do we think Rodolfo Vieira gets some takedowns and gets his grappling game going, or does Tresean Gore defend the takedowns and, look good on the feet like Petroski did?
Honestly, like, I don't really know about this fight, man. Like, Vieira should win pretty easily in a certain way, but I have just a weird feeling about it, So Gore has power, he has that deep guillotine, but it's not like that's going to work against Vieira. And, Vieira can get tired, but so can Gore. And, on the feet, I think Vieira is sometimes throwing more volume. He has a good jab, but then Gore has more power, big moments upside. And, he got beat up against Tulio last time out, but Tulio, to me, could be really special. And he took some bombs, and he's shown, good toughness. But at the end of the day, I mean, Rodolfo Vieira should not be losing to Tresean Gore. Let's just put it that way. So let's just do like Peg and put him in all the parlays and, hope for the best. I don't know. He should win. Peg is not listening, so Q, you can go next.
So what did you say? What about it? I heard a parlay. I was just reading our chat.
I think here Gore can win, and honestly, like the Tulio fight, I know is like an ass whooping of a lifetime, but he had moments of like actually looking good decent there. Like it was better. Like I remembered it being way more one sided than it actually was. I backed Gore versus Tricoli and played Tulio on apps against Gore in that fight, and I wasn't expecting Tulio to look like that. I think that Tulio showed his full bag, and I think that was due to Gore's toughness. His pressure was looking really good. Vieira is not going to be able to handle that type of pressure if that was ever happening. And Gore has his initial takedown defenses is like solid. So I don't know. I think Vieira, if he were to find the back or end up in half guard fights, probably ends up being over. Because I do think that he is just that good on top. But Gore, if he can stop a few takedowns, this can easily turn into a fight where you are burning a minus 200, the minus 210 ticket on Vieira. So I'll pass on this fight.
Yeah, I actually think this is completely a Tresean Gore spot. I was almost on Tresean Gore plus 3.5. I think it was minus 105 for spread of the week, just because Rodolfo Vieira, don't get me wrong, sick jiu-jitsu player, right? He's the black belt killer, everything like that. But the issue with him is his wrestling and his initial takedowns are not good. He's not that good. Now he's at Fighting Nerds. He's training with them. Maybe we see improvements there, but Gore is a pretty good defensive grappler or wrestler himself, especially with the initial takedown. If he keeps this standing, like now we're watching Rodolfo Vieira on the feet against Tresean Gore, who I rate levels better than Petrosky on the feet. And if that's the case, I mean, Tresean Gore is going to look favorite if it stays on the feet long term. Like Drav said, if he does shoot for that guillotine, he'll turn that guillotine into a head and arm choke like he did against Vieira versus Josh Fremd when he got the head and arm choke. Oh, no, Derek Brunson, right? Derek Brunson jumped for the guillotine and got head and arm choked from there. Just a classic BJJ black belt levels counter. But yeah, Tresean Gore for me. That's pretty much it. Next fight is going to be it's Rinya Nakamura versus Nathaniel Fletcher or Nathan Fletcher. Fletcher 9-2, 5'7", 135. Rinya Nakamura, the champion, 9-1, 5'7", 68.5-inch reach. Odds in these two gentlemen, you can get Rinya anywhere from minus 400 to minus 420. You can get Nathan Fletcher plus 300 to plus 333. Key, I'm going to have you go first. Does Rinya look minus 400 again, or is his low IQ show here?
No, I don't think so. I think that this ends up being a fight where both guys end up making contact with each other and end up in the clinch. I think that we'll see a lot of grappling here. Neither one's a slick striker or anything. Rinya, we know, that was a very, very underwhelming performance against Gafarov. And so I think that Rinya will beat him to the positions. I think they'll be able to top time him. But I'm personally not backing minus 400 if I don't think you have like major advantages pretty much everywhere. So for me, it's a pass. I think they does beat him. I go decision Nakamura.
Yeah, I like Nakamura here. I'm pretty sure I threw him in a 1-unit parlay with Bashi, him, and Fluffy Hernandez. It's going to be great. We'll call it the grappler's delight, if you will. But yeah, I think Nakamura is going to easily top time Fletcher here. I don't think he's going to be in any submission threats. If you watch the Loughran fight, he's a fucking potato farmer, and he was able to take down Fletcher and beat him up. So it's like, you're telling me a golden champion, a world medalist gold champion in Nakamura is not going to be able to top time Nathan Fletcher? Give me a break. I think Nakamura does. If he goes to takedowns and gets top time, he'll be fine. On the feet could be interesting, but even then, like, I think Rinya Nakamura is growing. I think that first loss he had, he's one of those things that, like, listen, bro, you're 9-0. Look at Sean Brady since he got his first loss. You need to get rid of that. You need to learn. I think he learned the high IQ or like kind of more fight IQ with his experience against Muin Gafarov. So I think he's fine here. Yeah, you can parlay him if you want. I think he's safe to parlay. I think Rinya Nakamura is going to look great. There's a reason he's minus 400 here against a guy who's also a grappler. What do you think, Trav?
He told me his game plan, Rinya, for this fight. He told me that he's looking to strike for 15 minutes. So, yeah, just so you know. Yeah, I mean, he should win this fight. I mean, he's much stronger as well. I don't think Fletcher is strong. I think Rinya is going to get takedowns pretty easily if he wants them. But he might try to strike. But even if he strike, he could bonk Nathan Fletcher, I feel like. Fletcher is hittable. And I don't really think he's good. It's hard for me to picture him winning. He could, but I think that Rinya has him covered. But honestly, like, since his last fight, Rinya, I kind of want to see him perform again and how he's going to improve from that, because it was really bad fight IQ, man. Not shooting and all of that. But I think he's a solid prospect still. Good wrestling, power in his hands. Just, a good fighter overall. It's just he needs to grow more. And, Nathan Fletcher, he fought better competition, and you could make this interesting, but I think Rinya should get this done pretty easily. But yeah, I'm a bit scared at minus 400 after his last performance personally. fight IQ is important when you're a big favorite like that. So,
Gotcha. Does anyone idea what the next fight is here?
yeah, sure, I got you. The next fight is, it's your boy Nick Klein versus Andre Pulyaev.
All right, my boy Nick Klein versus Andre Pulyaev. Nick Klein 6'2", 6'1", 77-inch reach. Andre Pulyaev 6'4", 9'3", 78.5-inch reach. Odds on these gentlemen. Pulyaev is steamed all the way up to -160. Nick Klein is plus 135. I'll go down first, I'll talk about this first. Break it down. Look at this fight. We're talking about Nick Klein at plus 500 in his Dana White Contender Series. Then we're talking about him plus 500 again or 300 again versus Malik Absur. I almost called him Abdul Carter, the guy on the Giants. But then we have him here as he was a close favorite. Now it's flipped to a full dog against Andre Pulyaev. I think the reason that is, I think it's just a market overcorrection, just because like he did survive longer than he was supposed to against Abdul. Now they're giving him a guy in Andre Pulyaev who's going to be the much better striker. I think he's going to have a lot better range. You watch both these guys tape. Both guys hate getting pressured. Nick Klein doesn't look comfortable on the feet at all. Andre Pulyaev, although he is the much better striker, he also has great footwork, and I think that's going to help with preventing the takedowns of Nick Klein. Nick Klein does take him down. His takedowns are pretty good. He does this thing where he locks his body lock, takes them to the ground, but most fighters let go of the body lock. Nick Klein doesn't. He holds onto that body lock in a way and tries to transition to pass guard or a back take, which is pretty crafty. So on the ground, I could see an early sub for Nick Klein, but outside of that, I think this is Andre Pulyaev's fight. As long as he keeps his distance, jabs his face off, and, uses his footwork, I think he should be able to outstrike Nick Klein, make him look awkward for 15 minutes, maybe even find a finish late. What do you think, Key?
Yeah, this is an awful fight. I don't think either one should be here. For all the questions, what's the dog shit fight of the week? I think this is, and for whatever reason, everybody wants to bet on it. I have no interest here. Pulyaev is not good. I believe that his regional tape is sus. I think the CLD should have finished him. And that was a very underwhelming performance.
Yeah, I was on CLD in a parlay there and being like, holy shit.
And so I also was there with you, and I think that was just a very bad performance for CLD. But I think that Pulyaev is not good. I think that he's not strong. The issue with Klein is sus gas tank, we know. But I do think that he can find the back early. And Liam Anderson, I believe, was absolutely awful. And was able to have grappling success against Pulyaev. We know that Klein's probably going to wrestle early. It'll be interesting to see. But I don't rate Pulyaev highly at all. And this is an awful fight. Pick wise, though, I'll say Pulyaev slightly.
Yeah, I'm on Pulyaev minus 125, by the way. I did not bet him at minus 160. I bet him at minus 120, minus 125 earlier in the week. What do you think, Jav?
Yeah, I wanted to bet Pulyaev because I know some guys on that side, and I don't know, man. I got to it, and like you said, I'm pretty confident Klein's gonna get takedowns early, and he could get to the back. That's the thing. Like Pulyaev, I think his takedown defense is not bad, but on the ground, even on regional, he's shown some bad grappling off his back. And Klein, I don't think he's good. But the thing he's good at is he's good at getting the back, and he's good at going to the rear naked choke. He's fast at snatching it. So, and he's tough. So, I think his cardio might be improving, but it's kind of hard to tell. Obviously, there's some bad tapes on both guys, honestly. And when there's a super low level fight like that, laying chalk on one side, it's not really the thing I'm trying to do. But yeah, I think Pulyaev is a better striker. I think his body kick's gonna land. He should beat Nick Klein. I trust his cardio a bit more, but I don't really think Pulyaev's gonna finish him. And if he doesn't finish him, and I think Klein could take him down and get his back, that's just enough for me to pass on this price. But I think he's the rightful favorite. I think Pulyaev's gonna outstrike him and double him up on volume. But Klein is just, to me, he's a meme merchant, and he could get bonked and then get on the back and submit him, some weird shit like that. So. I think he might, I don't know, man. It's just, it's a fight where I think it's just good to pass on overall. But yeah,
Job,
I
are you
think
surprised I didn't play my boy Klein here?
I am quite surprised, but you know,
Thank you.
remember the picture I used to send in the chat about him with, you know, he was on the pool or something. It's like
Yeah.
it was like one of the best pictures. I was like one of the greatest of all time. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
bro.
he's fun, honestly. I don't know if you guys recall, but watching back his Dana White Contender Series fight, you guys remember what he said after you won? Like, he goes right to Dana White and he's like, he pointing Dana. He's like, Dana, John Jones is the best fighter ever in
Yeah.
the UFC. And like I was like, bro, this guy
He knows how to get a contract.
yeah, and it was like the time where Dana was always saying like, yeah, John Jones the GOAT. He was really like talking about it.
Yeah.
Nick Klein said, yeah, I'm getting that contract, baby.
I
So,
also
yeah.
predicted Nick Klein to win for his Dana White Contender Series. But yeah. Let's go on to the next fight. Next fight. Now we're starting our main card, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate it.
Talking about the Dana White Contender Series, you guys are probably watching now, so let us know in the comments. Do you guys want Dana White Contender Series content? Let us know, because we might try to do some like we did last year, but depending on, you know, how much you guys want it, because last year we had like double the views on normal videos and, you know, not enough people on Dana White Contender Series videos. So we might try to do it, because I'm gonna tape almost all the fight now. I'm gonna do them early. So if you guys want content for that, let us know in the comments. For it's coming up in 2 weeks, I think, guys. 2 or 3
Yeah,
weeks.
August 12th is when it starts.
Yeah.
Our boy Jimmy Drago, who we interviewed, is I think is headlining the first card. So
Nice.
it'll be a good one. But no, I like Drav. Good job adding that. It's a good point. Yeah. If you leave a comment, let us know if you want us to do Dana White Contender Series, because like Drav said, we will have to get that tape in advance, because on top of normal cards the same week, we're gonna have to double tape, especially if we tape on Tuesdays, which would be live during Dana White Contender Series when we'd be taping, technically speaking, right? But yeah, main card time. Like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate everything you guys do. Next fight is the people. It seems like it's Twitter's fight of the week here. We have where is this fucking fight? Danny Silva versus Kevin Vallejos. Kevin Vallejos, 15-1, 5'7", Argentinian, 68-inch reach. Danny Silva, 10-1, 5'11", 70-inch reach. Odds, Nishi, gentlemen. I think Vallejos is the parlay leg of the week. He's minus 400. Danny Silva plus 300. Trav, I'm going to have you go first. What do you think here, man? Danny Silva or Kevin Vallejos by finish?
Vallejos by decision. It's not the option. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a war, bro. Like, Vallejos is really good. You know, I've bet him multiple times already. He's the real deal. But what I like about him is how durable he is, and how he goes to the body and his combination in the boxing. He's really elite at doing that. And, you know, his boxing overall is just nasty. He's a small guy for 145, but he make his style work. But Danny Silva is not a bum, you know, and they're pricing this fight like he's a bum. I don't agree with that. Like that, I think Danny Silva is pretty good. His boxing is solid. He has good body work in his own right, good volume, decent grappling. He has some close fight, which I think should not have been as close. Sometimes he doesn't have the best performances, but when he's on, he's on. And the thing I don't like about him is he's really hittable. And Vallejos, like I said, hit really hard. And I think that Vallejos' style could cause him a lot of issues. And, you know, Vallejos is the bigger puncher. I think he's more likely to end the fight by knockout because, like I said, he's more durable and he hit harder. But honestly, I think it's going to be a fight where it go the distance. It's close and closer than people think. And Vallejos just, you know, land a bigger shot and do more damage and win the decision. But, you know, Danny Silva could get the upset here. I don't think it's impossible. And there's a lot of hype on Vallejos right now. So you're paying the hype taxes on the name, and you're paying, you know, everybody that want to parlay him. But, you know, these big favorites recently, man, they're not doing well, you know. So if you're just parlaying all these big favorites like Peg, you're going to be losing. So I think that, you know, I think Vallejos, there's some ways that you can play this fight, but a lot of different ways, actually. But I'm going to predict him to win Probably a decision, yeah. But yeah, he could knock him out. Like, he could knock out anybody, obviously. But to me, that's a step up in competition. And I think that Silva is durable and a dog, so I don't think he's gonna, break. And I don't think Vallejos is the type of guy that is gonna like finish him late, outbreak him, But I don't think he's gonna one punch him either. So yeah, but Silva is really hittable, like I said. So like I could see Vallejos knockout. It's minus money Vallejos knockout. So it's obviously what they're predicting. But yeah, I'm gonna go a bit different and say he gets it done by decision.
No, I tend to agree with you. When I was also looking at Danny Silva, I was looking at his plus 3.5 again for spread of the week, plus 155. Decided against it just because of how hittable he is and Kevin Vallejos' power. But I think going back in tapes, people are sleeping on Danny Silva's pretty good at boxing. If you go back and look at his boxing and look at his grappling, like both of those are a lot better than this line is telling you it is. They kind of make it sound like Kevin Vallejos' levels all on the feet. He is to a power extent, but volume-wise and boxing-wise, they're going to be pretty close in competition on the feet. Any takedowns coming in, I think, are going to be Danny Silva's, to be honest with you, just because when you look at it, Danny Silva is the type of guy who will go and get that takedown. Kevin Vallejos' takedown defense isn't tremendous, and I don't really see Kevin Vallejos shooting. So I don't know. Seems like he would have that upside as well. But like I said, very hittable, tough chin. I'm going to take Vallejos as the bet, but I'm not touching this fight. What do you think, Key?
Yeah, pass fight for me. I think that this is a car crash. Silva's hittable. He's going to be in the pocket. He's going to stay in the pocket. Vallejos is good. I have questions about him long term, but I think at this level, I think this is kind of a good matchup for him and a guy that's going to be in the pocket with him. I can see Vallejos knockout early, or I could see this being a crazy war. I lean Vallejos knockout, but Silva rolls with shots pretty well. And has that boxing background, but he's just so hittable. And I think Vallejos has real power and pop. So this could get interesting. Maybe Vallejos blows his load early, and then Silva starts pouring it on late. But I think that Vallejos is bound to have some sort of success in this fight. I think it's a lot of it's front loaded. So I lean Vallejos knockout, but wouldn't be surprised to see a crazy war.
All right. Next fight we have is Neil Magny versus Elizu Zaleski dos Santos, EZD, as the kids are calling him nowadays. Neil Magny, Unk. He's an Unk, as they say at the cookout, right? He's 29-14. He's 6'3", 171 pounds. EZD, 25, 9-1, 5'11", 171. Odds in this fight, disgusting. Neil Magny plus 170. Zaleski dos Santos minus 200. Drav, tell me why EZD, does he have any finishing upside here, or is Neil Magny going to cover this price tag with the clinch?
It's really hard to say he doesn't have finishing upside, because the way Neil Magny has been reacting to shot recently is really bad. And I'm not only talking about his last two fights, talking about the D-Rod fight, even the Mike Griffin fight. Like, he's getting hurt way more than he used to. And, when you're getting older and you're getting hurt as much, I don't like that. But also when you doesn't like when you react to every feint, when you're getting dropped, you're getting hurt. It's not something I like to see. And ZDS still carries power at this point in his career. And I also like his leg kicks. He doesn't throw them all the time, but when he does, he's good with it. And Neil Magny doesn't check leg kicks, and that's always been an issue for him. So adding that with the power of ZDS, it's hard for me to click on Neil Magny. But at the same time, man, I mean, Neil Magny could hard work him in the clinch. That's possible. Like the Abukar Nurmagomedov fight was not a good look for ZDS. He got kind of cracked a bit, and then he got control in the clinch for a long period of time. The ref was the one breaking the clinch sometimes. So if Neil Magny is in the clinch, he's the bigger guy. I think he can have success there. But at distance striking, Neil Magny can have success with his volume. But it looks like he's not really throwing his hands anymore. He's not really winning rounds anymore. So I don't like that, man. And I'll say that if ZDS gets tired in round 3, Neil Magny is still going to be there. His cardio is still good. And his ground game, when he's on top and the guy is tired, he's pretty good at it. But, defensively, he's not good on the ground, as we know. So ZDS has potential sub upside as well. So, yeah, I mean, like Aline doesn't go the distance. Aline a finish. Neil Magny last 2 wins are round 3 finishes. And finishing D-Rod by sub at 9 side is probably a good look, because Kevin Allen was not able to do it. Like, how funny is MMA? Neil Magny is able to submit D-Rod via Darce choke, and Kevin Allen is not. Like, it's kind of crazy sometimes in MMA, bro. But yeah, it is what it is. At the end of the day, I think Neil Magny can make it close, especially if he go the distance. But I think ZDS has more finishing upside. He hit harder. The leg kick's going to be an issue. Does he knock him out, though? That's kind of the question I'm not really sure about. But yeah, maybe it doesn't go the distance. It's not a bad look. What do you guys think about that? It's like under 2.5. Fight doesn't go. It's like it's plus 145. Fight doesn't go. No, under 2.5. And fight doesn't go is, there's like plus 120 on the market. What do you guys think about it?
I don't think that's bad. I just backing that versus anybody with real danger against Magny feels like a trap at this stage of his career.
Yeah. I tend to agree with Key. I mean, honestly, when I looked at this fight on tape, I left tape thinking it's got to be Magny or pass at plus 170, but it's kind of like plus 170 is not a big enough price for me to like want to find out if he's worth it. Because I feel like if he does push and does clinch, then yes, he'll have success against the cage like a classic Neil Magny fight. But if not, like he said, hasn't been getting hit the right way easily. I think if EZD starts working his leg kicks more, I think he'll have much more success. So that's kind of my take on it.
Key, what do you think is gonna win?
I pick Zaleski dos Santos. I think that he's a better fighter at this stage of his career. Although I don't think that he's as good as it's felt like he is, I think that he's better than Neil Magny at this stage of his career. Neil's 2 brutal knockouts back to back. The Malott fight, even that, we know that he was on his way to losing. And when is he ever going to win in any sort of clean fashion? Everything is like nasty and grimy, and I think that Zaleski has a speed advantage. And Magny's kind of harmless, it seems at times. So for me, it's a pass. I don't want to back Zaleski at this wide odds, so it's just a pass fight.
You think he's gonna finish him?
I can see a finish, but I can also just see a damage-based decision that ends up being kind of slower.
Yeah, I could see that as well.
I don't expect Magny to throw himself in the fire after like 2 brutal knockouts. I don't see that.
Yeah. He's going to try to play this safe. And it's like ZDS still went to a close decision with Randy Brown at the end of the day, and I think Randy's a much tougher fight than Magny at this stage. And it was 29-28. He hurt Randy Brown even though he was getting piece up, and he got the back. So it's like, if he did that against Randy Brown, I think he's going to do, if he do something similar against Neil, he's going to either win or finish him, and he could do potentially better.
My bad. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, because, Randy cover range way better than Neil, and he has a better jab, more power. So, yeah, I think ZDS should win.
All right. We'll go on to the next fight. Next fight is
it's Carol Rosa versus Nora Cornolle.
Ooh, baby. Carol Rosa versus Nora Cornolle. You know what that means.
Looking at those feet, you nasty boy.
All right. Carol Rosa, 18-7, 5'5", 135, 67.5-inch reach. Nora Cornolle, 9-2, French, 5'7", 67-inch reach. Odds on these two ladies. You can get Rosa minus 171. You get Cornolle plus 146. Key, mid-level girls fight. I'm going to let you go first. What do you think here?
Yeah, I think that here Rosa's a better MMA fighter. I think that she has a grappling advantage if she wants it, but I don't think that she's smart enough to use it. Her fight IQ's been sus at times. I think that she's somewhat of a career overperformer how skilled she actually is, because I do rate her somewhat high. I think that she has solid process for the most part. Calf kicks, we know, are nasty. And I think that in this fight, she could easily calf kick and jab her way to success here. But I fear Cornolle is just sort of an idiot, in my opinion. I don't think that she's very good, but wins based off of big moments. It's sort of just being a loud fighter, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
everything she does is super loud. And so, although it doesn't even seem like it's that effective or there's that much thought or process behind it, she's just a mean and violent girl.
Hell yeah.
And in women's MMA, that ends up appealing to judges at times. And so I think that she's been on the good side of some tricky split decisions I don't think should have went her way. And I think that this could be an issue here for Rosa, and her ending up on a bad side of a split decision. So Rosa's just isn't that much of a finisher. And in my opinion, sort of lacks that killer instinct at times. And so I would want to back her here because I do think that she has a cardio advantage. I also just think that she can fight on thin margins unnecessarily at times. So for that reason, um, I'm passing at this price. If price were to come down a good bit, then I'll be on Rosa.
Yeah, so I'm on the opposite side here, but I played it a little like a little differently. I played Cornolle wins inside the distance, decision equals no bet, and it was at plus 120 when I played it yesterday. For only being 20 cents cheaper than her money line, I don't see like Carla Rosa has never gotten a finish, I believe, in the UFC. So that's not going to happen here against a girl who's relatively durable. Cornolle has all the finishing upsides, right? She's got 6 finishes as a girl, and by KO, 2 by sub. She doesn't have the grappling advantage here, so the sub's not going to come, but the KO could possibly be there. But if it goes to the decision, like most girls' fights do, it will just pass. So, like, I'm basically just getting a free bet on Nora to find a finish, and on her money line, because I think that's the majority of her equity. And if she goes to decision, no skin off my back. Like, it is what it is. Plus 120 for 1.5 units. I'll take that inside the distance decision, no bet. What do you think, Trav?
The scene, if she get finished and you're gonna cry because she's French, bro. The scenes.
Oh, that's my backup. I had that in my back pocket. I'm that's ready to go.
You decided to make this bet, so you better not cry after that. But yeah, I'll just say Rosa has been close to finishing some fights a lot of times, and her leg kicks are pretty good. And Cornolle sometimes shown really bad optics in fight, gassing out, and sometimes she's getting hurt. I don't like. I think that Rosa could potentially finish her, honestly, with the leg kicks, with maybe a submission, but I don't think it's gonna happen, But I think that could happen. But there's a lot of people playing the Rosa finish like every time she fights because she's so close to do it. But to her credit, she's fought some tough girls, and Cornolle is also tough, but it's a step down in competition. And if you look, it's kind of funny because Rosa, she's like win lose in her career. Like if you look, like let me just see.
Yeah, the trend
It's
is
2021, right? So it's like win loss, and now she's probably gonna win, right?
Yeah.
So and yeah, I mean Cornolle, like in the last fight, she was losing until she got the sub. I don't know why it was a bullshit split against Cavalcanti. She clearly got her ass beat. And I know key play her against Mullins, she got the KO here, but we know Mullins, she can get hurt and her striking is not really good. And her fight IQ is not really good either. So I don't really know how much stock I put into that win. But yeah, overall, I mean, Rosa is the younger girl, the girl with the more, the better level of competition, better striker to me, better overall, better grappler. So I think she should win this fight, but she's just hard to trust. She's always at chalk, but I don't know, man. I think she should win this. I don't really want to bet her at the same time, So I'm gonna think about this one more, see what I do.
Imagine being on the other girl when Rosa finds her first finish. That would be so disgusting. It would be comedy. But let's move on. Co-main event of we got next we have Esteban Ribovics versus Elvis Brener. Brener 16-5, 5'10", 72.5-inch reach. Ribovics 14-2, 5'10", 69-inch reach. Odds on these two gentlemen: Ribovics is minus 260, Elvis Brener plus 220. You want me to go first here? Yeah, I'm gonna go first because you're gonna go next. All right. I'm on Elvis Brener money line plus 225, and I am on him plus 3.5, plus 105. That's spread of the week. Here's why. Elvis Brener's a dog, right? We've watched him. We want to talk about like strength of schedule, shit like that. We're talking about Elvis Brener's is fighting guys like Guram. He's had to fight Oralbai. His last fight was against Joel Alvarez. Oralbai would sub Ribovics. Joel Alvarez would do whatever he wants to Ribovics. Guram, I don't really know how that fight would go. But this fight, to me, makes sense in the sense that Elvis Brener, if there's any takedowns or grappling exchanges that are going to be positive, they're going to be positive for Brener. On the feet, volume-wise, I think it's going to be close. Ribovics does have a power advantage, but Brener also does throw down hard. Esteban gets hit a lot. He's very he counts on his chin a lot, and his chin is pretty good. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but I wouldn't be surprised if Elvis Brener gets a knockdown in this fight just because he's willing to go to war. Ribovics loves doing that. He loves putting on a show. His last fight was against Zellhuber, that split decision. That obviously aged pretty poorly now that Zellhuber just lost to Mike Johnson as minus 800 or 600, whatever he was. So, yeah.
You had him in the parlay, obviously.
Yes, I did have him in a parlay. But I don't know. It's just I don't know. This fight feels like it's going to be closer than it actually is, especially if Brener starts grappling. If he starts grappling, this is his fight. Like, he can easily out-grapple him. We saw him get takedowns and look good on the ground against Oralbai, who is a much better grappler than Ribovics is. So, I don't know. Feels like this line is just way too wide, and it's recency bias because Brener got finished by Joel Alvarez, but Joel Alvarez was finished Ribovics too. And Joel Alvarez, we just watched Joel Alvarez put on his career best performance, and that's how Brener lost in the third round. So he's getting his ass kicked for 3 rounds again. He just couldn't find the finish like he did against Guram. So I don't know. Feels like dog or pass here for me. What do you think, Drav?
Honestly, bro, it's a fight I want to tape more because I know a lot of people on the Brener side. I know you have a lot of money on it. So, yeah, maybe it's recency bias because his last 2 losses are really good competition and, like, he got hurt a bunch, didn't look too good. But at the same time, Ribovics you would lose to both these guys. So the way I look at it is, like, I think that Ribovics is kind of special on the feet. With his power, with his presence, with his pressure, with his durability, with his cardio. Like, he has a lot of... It's rare when we see guys with good volume and good power as the fight extends that has good durability and won't fuck off yet, right? So even the Nasrat fight, for example, like, the Nasrat fight was a split decision. Remember at the end, like, he hurt him at the end of the fight, like with, I think, 3 seconds left. So he carry power, like, really late, and he's a really hard guy to deal with. But he can be taken down. He can get his back taken. But to his credit, he worked back up. He does that Kimura to get back up and all that stuff. But I think Brener grappling might be a bit underrated here because on the regional he's shown good grappling. Even against Gabriel Santos, for example, he had good ground and pound. He was on top for some moments there. So I think his grappling is good, and he might have 3 takedowns here because Ribovics' takedown defense is not really good. But on the feet, to me, it's really like I think there's a power hedge for Ribovics, and I think there's also he's more likely to hurt and knock out Brenner's than the other way around. He has that good head kick that he got on McKinney, obviously, but I could see this one also being a war that go the distance, and like Brener like lose a close decision, like a 29-28 type shit. But I think Ribovics is really live to hurt him, and he's live to hurt him to the body too, not only the head. So Brener, maybe his durability is declining a bit. He's been hurt way more recently, but also maybe that's because level of competition. Maybe that's because all the damage he's been taking. I'm not too sure. So I want to tape that one more and see what I do. But as of right now, like I cannot play Ribovics. Obviously, it's like minus 250, but I do think he's gonna win the fight. So we'll see if I end up playing any props, or maybe I end up on a dog after more tapes. I don't really know, but I think Ribovics gonna win personally.
All right, Key, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think Ribovics gets it done, but Brener's tough. I think he has a grappling advantage here. Ribovics, it throws in combinations. I do think they'll have more volume on the feet, and Brener's liable to get hurt. I can see Ribovics KO 2-3. I personally, I can see this fight going a lot of different ways. So Ribovics has been in some wars. Both guys have been dealing with their fair share of damage as of recent. So for me, I'll pass. I can understand Brener dog shots, or I think I can understand some Ribovics late KO prop. So I think those are the two main ways. But I think money line's too wide to be on Ribovics here. So pass for me right now.
Yeah, I also think Ribovics, when he wins, if he goes to decision, he always wins on relatively small margins. So that kind of helps my reason for spread of the week.
I think the spread, you got plus money on it, right?
Yeah, plus 105.
I think it's pretty solid. Like
Yeah,
he could knock him out, but if he doesn't, like the spread's gonna cover for sure.
yeah, I think so too. All right, co-main event of the evening: Rebecki versus Chris Duncan. Chris Duncan, 13-2, 5'10", 71.5-inch reach. Rebecki, 20-2, 5'7", 66-inch reach. These guys are both training partners at American Top Team. Line on this fight, you could get Duncan anywhere from plus 170 to plus 165. You get Rebecki anywhere around minus 200. Drav, Chris Duncan's your boy, obviously. How do you think this fight goes? Does Chris Duncan find like a sub or a late KO if Rebecki gets tired, or is Rebecki knock him out because we've seen Duncan's chin lackluster?
This one's a banger, bro. Like This one is really a banger. Like
it's gonna be crazy.
I'm really excited to watch this fight. You know, we talk about this card not being really good, but I mean this fight is really like name me one of these guys fight that are boring. It's really gonna be hard to say.
Yeah.
Duncan, I'll say, like you said, he's my boy because I've been saying he was better than people thought before he was. Like he has a hype now. The guy is fun to watch, man. And the things I'm gonna say is, first of all, he's clearly improving his game. It looks like he has more power these days. He obviously has that guillotine that he's been working with. He's really good at catching guy. I was not expecting him to catch Vichanik with that guillotine. I'll say he looked really good against Vichanik. Like he hurt him. I was kind of surprised. But at the same time, Vichanik's a former featherweight. So Duncan was much bigger and stronger there. Like he's going to be bigger than Rebecki, but I don't think he's going to be as much stronger than he was against Vichanik. And the Oki fight, he was getting piece up, honestly. Like he was getting piece up, was not looking great. Oki shoot and he got guillotine. I will be like, I'm gonna say that maybe that's gonna happen again, but I will be like kind of surprised if Rebecki get caught in a guillotine here. He's too high level of a grappler for that. I think if Duncan pull guillotine, Rebecki's just gonna use that to get on top and work his game. And dude, like Rebecki, especially early, he hit very hard. He has those nasty leg kicks, big power. And bro, I've bet him against Orobai. That fight was like one of the best fight of last year. It was a crazy war, and I know the narrative, and I agree that he slowed down and he can get finished late. But at the same time, bro, he carries power late, and he's still a dog. Like he's not easy to finish, and he hurt Orobai late in that fight. Was kind of surprising to me because Orobai he has elite durability. He's so strong, and he's good on the feet too, man. Orobai is like
he's a great fighter.
I'm not gonna bet against this guy soon, bro. I tried to fade him last time. I'm not gonna do that again. He's special. And the fact that Rebecki has that win in his under his name is really something to be proud about. And also, you know, his other win against Loic is also a good win. You know, a big guy that has power. Like he beat up his legs there. So yeah, for me here, it's like I think that Rebecki is more likely to get takedowns and end up on top in controlling position. I don't think Duncan wrestling is as good as Rebecki. And on the feet, I mean, Duncan is a dog and he's hard to knock out, but he's been hurt a lot. Like you said, his striking defense is not good. And Rebecki is probably, let me just see. Yeah, I mean, I think Rebecki is the hardest hitter that he's faced recently. Maybe you can say Manuel Torres hit harder. Kind of funny in that fight because he got he hurt Torres early, he got hurt after, and he got taken down, got sub. So yeah, honestly, I think that Rebecki has a lot of upside here. He could knock him out early. He could take him down, and I think if they go the distance, it's gonna be a war that I favor Rebecki a bit. But yeah, Duncan always like for that guillotine. He's the bigger guy. I think his kicks could be money at distance. He could potentially outpoint him. But Rebecki's going to pressure him, kick the legs, and he's going to land really big shots. And I'm pretty confident he's going to hurt Duncan. Duncan could also hurt him, but I think Rebecki durability is better. So because of that, I think he's going to roll. But Duncan has that thing about him that he's losing until he wins, and he finds a way to win. So I want to respect that about him, and it's hard to bet against him at chalk because of that. But I do think Rebecki is gonna beat him, and potentially inside a distance. It could be a level fight here. There's hype on Duncan here, and I know he's an underdog, but there's still hype on him. People love to bet him and all of that. But I think him against Vachenik and Oki is a way different matchup than him against a beast like Rebecki. I think Rebecki is a potentially a top 15 guy. So yeah, I think Rebecki is going to win this fight.
I also think Rebecki I like Rebecki here. I see it's minus 200 now. I'm hoping the line kind of comes in a little bit because then I will bet Rebecki. The reason is because, like you said, I think the power advantage is going to be a lot better for Matisse Rebecki here. These guys are also two teammates, so I think they kind of already know how this fight's going to go because they've been in the training room together. But besides that fact, I think Rebecki also, his thing has always been like he's a crazy power saw, and then late in the fight, like he gets tired, and then he gives like he's known as a gas bag, right? And then we watched the Oralby fight. His cardio was good all 15 minutes in a war. So I think he's kind of come around and fixed that cardio issue of his. Obviously, he's at American Top Team. He's got the good acai bowls, as we talk about, or whatever, or the water there. So I don't know. I think this is the Rebecki side for me. If I can get him under, if I get a minus 180, minus 185, I'll probably put 2 units on him just to see where it goes. What do you think, Key?
Yeah. For me, Duncan's not a guy that I want to bet against at these types of odds because, like Rob mentioned, it just feels like he pulls shit out of his ass so consistently. And I think that his chin is kind of sus. I think that he's robotic defensively. And I think that Rebecki, I think early KO makes sense and is, in my opinion, his way to truly looking like a solid favorite in this fight. Because otherwise, Duncan's pretty big. I could see him wearing on Rebecki late, and I know that Rebecki's cardio looked really, really solid against Oralby, and he showed that dog in him. But I could see Duncan wearing on him. And they're both getting the good ATT water. For me, it's a pass right now. I would need Rebecki's line to come in tremendously, and I don't think that that's happening. So I think that I'll just end up having no money on this fight.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't mention is the speed advantage for Rebecki, especially early. Like it's gonna be a massive difference in speed. So yeah, I think because Duncan is so hittable and he's gonna be at a speed disadvantage, and I think Rebecki is gonna hit him harder. Yeah, I wonder what's the price for Rebecki KO1. Let me see that during the time you go into the next fight.
I think plus 425. On Bet
Yeah,
Online right
425 on Bet Online. Let me see on my other commercial book. I got it right there. So 440. It's not bad. You like that key, or it's not? You don't think it's good enough?
I probably would like for it to be a little wider
Yeah, like
because
six
I
to
think I
one.
could see
6 to 1.
Rebecki grappling for some around one. So for me,
Yeah,
I would need it to be wider.
and it could be around 2 as well, like the
Yeah.
KO. So. Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Main event of the evening. It is Tatsuro Taira versus Hyung Sung Park. Tatsuro Taira, there's obviously late notice. Bashi pulled out yet again. Something to do with not being medically cleared. Taira, 16-1, 5'7", 70-inch reach. Park, 10-0, 5'7", 66-inch reach. Odds in these two gentlemen. Taira, the line is now, it looks like it's Comeback.
It's minus 400.
Yep,
Taira,
and then,
minus 300 plus 300 Park.
Yep. Okay. So that's my fault. I forgot to refresh my fight odds before I started the tape. So that's great. So lines are different than what I just did the whole show. That's good. Yeah. So I'll go first here just because I have a bet on it. I played the minus 250 on Taira on DraftKings when it came out. Reason is I think that this is a 5-round fight. Obviously, Park doesn't have experience in that. We've just shown Taira fight a guy in Royval who is a top 5 flyweight, has good cardio, has good grappling, has good striking. And even though Taira was getting beat up at times, he showed he had that dog. He was able to get back takes. He was able to get grappling going. And I think he really needed that for, like we've been talking about, it's been the common narrative. He needed that first loss and that real test on the big stage. Now we have him here at minus 250. And I think the difference is, I think like Park is live with power. He's a strong puncher. He's got good leg kicks and stuff like that. I just haven't seen him going back in tapes in spots where he's fought a wrestler or defended takedowns or grappling of a caliber of Taira. I think Taira is going to look better here than he did his last fight just because he's a younger guy like we just talked about. Coming back, hopefully his striking is a little bit more improved and then his grappling doesn't even need to improve. So I don't know. I feel like Taira is probably live to get a late sub, probably 3, 4, or 5. Just because it's too much too soon. Narrative-wise, Park, if you saw earlier, he declined this fight twice. He wanted to keep the Urseg matchup, and then Hunter Campbell called him personally and was like, hey, we're going to give you a new contract. We're going to pay you a little bit more. Just take the fight. So he took it. So now Park knows even if I lose here, my job's secured. I have a new contract. I have new money. And now he's getting experience in a 5-round fight against a great flyweight. So it's a win. Park's already won. In my book, Park's already won here. He got everything you could possibly want from a fight without even stepping in the cage yet. So I think this fight, it'll probably play out close early on. But I think as the fight extends, Taira is going to look better and better, especially if he gets back control and is able to get his grappling going. Stays on the feet, I'll be a little more worried about it. But like I said, minus 250 seems fair as a guy who's been in a full camp, ready for a 5-round fight, been in a 5-round fight, and he's just like a young up-and-coming prospect. What do you think, Droff?
Do you want to know the line for sub 345?
Sure.
I got them for you if you want. It's on DraftKings. They don't have the combos, right? So yeah, I'm gonna just tell you the odds straight up. So sub 3 is 11-1, sub 4 is 16-1, and sub 5 is 22-1. Pretty good.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
Yeah, so in this fight, it's a really good fight, honestly. Yeah, I think it's a better fight than the Albazi one. I think Taira will just smash Albazi pretty easily, honestly. And Park, to me, like you said, he's still a bit of an unknown, like in the fact that he has not faced a grappler the caliber of Taira. And, you know, it's a big step up in competition. He was on a full camp, to his credit, to fight Urseg, and it's not like Taira is a much different matchup than Urseg in a certain way. It's not like he was training to fight a boxer and now he's training to fight a wrestler. You know, it's kind of not the same matchup, but you know what I mean. And you know, he was preparing for 3 rounds instead of 5, so that's something that, you know, it's good for Taira here. He was the one fighting for this card, and you know, Park was supposed to fight next week. But honestly, I don't really care about that narrative shit about what you said. You know, the fact that, you know, Hunter called to take that fight and, you know, he didn't want to take it and all of that. Like, obviously, if you're having a fight scheduled against a former title challenger, you know, an easier matchup in a week, 3 rounds that you're training for, you're gonna want that fight, you know, instead of, you know, a fight of 5 rounds you didn't prepare for against a harder matchup for you. That's kind of that's what I think. But obviously, there's, like you said, there's unknowns. I've watched a bunch of tapes on this one. Park, like if you look on his record, there's a decision fight I was able to find and watch, but it's a 2-round fight. It's not even a 3 rounds fight. So that's a bit of a concern. And, you know, he went into a round 3 and he looked good. He got a submission. I don't think his cardio is bad. Like with what I've seen, I don't think his cardio is bad. He looked good in round 2 and round 3 in the fights that he's been in, but it's still a massive step up in competition. And I can't say I'm confident he's going to look good in round 4 and 5. But his cardio can be good. We don't really know. It could be better than Taira for round 4 and 5. Taira has good cardio, but it's not like he's a cardio machine. He's not a Mirab, But I think that skill wise, this fight's going to play out close and closer than people think. On the feet, I think it's a competitive fight, honestly. Park, he has a really good jab. He goes to the body and he has good leg kicks, which I've seen Taira drop before on the feet, and I've seen Taira drop twice with leg kicks. So I think that's something Park can do here, make it close on the feet. Taira is obviously the bigger guy, and in the grappling, I think he's better. I think his grappling is special, but I also think that Park grappling is really good. I've seen him taking down, I think, twice. I've seen him a bit off his back and on the regional too. And with what I've seen, like the way he get up and the way he reverse and all of that, he looked pretty good. And obviously his back take and rear naked choke is really solid. So, and Taira grappling, for as good as it is, he's been reversed before. He's been taken down before. He's been in submission attempts before. So, it's not like he's taking you down and he's going to submit you right away. CJ Vergara was able to reverse. CJ Vergara was able to get up. Carlos Candelario was able to not get submitted, to reverse. Edgar Charas, he just play off his back. He's not defending takedowns. Carlos Hernandez was able to scramble well, obviously, but he's elite at that. So, to me, Park against Hernandez, he look elite. He look really good. He's improving. And I like his patience on the feet. I like the way he strike, honestly. And he has power as well. So he could crack Taira. And if he doesn't crack Taira, I think it's going to play out close on the feet, honestly. Taira, underrated striking. I think his striking is also really good and he hit hard. So I don't think he's going to get fucked up on the feet. Nothing like that. I think it's going to be close on the feet. They're both really good striker for the division. But I think Park, being the bigger guy and the better grappler overall and the better wrestler, can, get this fight to the ground. And when he does, there's a chance he look dominant. But there's also a chance that the grappling is way closer than what people think. If that's the case, this fight can look like Pick'em. I don't think it should be Pick'em, obviously, because it's a step up in competition. Taira, like I said, bigger guy, training for 5 rounds, better wrestler, grappler. But honestly, I think this line should be closer. I think that I think Taira should be like minus 200. So I think there's a lot of value on the Park side. And yeah, there's unknown, like I said. But if there's unknown, this guy could be the next big thing. He's probably not, but I think he's really solid, honestly. So if he's better than I think he is, or he's as good as I think he is, he can win this fight and make it really close. So for me, I think Park is a light underdog, but I'm going to pick Taira to get it done. I think he's the rightful favorite, but I just think it's a high-level fight and a way closer fight than people are gonna think. I think Taira is gonna win, and then after the fight, people are gonna be like, "Oh, okay, so this Park guy is really good. He's gonna be something." But yeah, we'll see. Taira also coming back after his first loss in his career. How he's gonna come back after that, we don't really know. I think that's probably gonna be good for him, but again, we don't really know. So there's some unknown about this fight. The 5-round cardio for Park, the grappling, the submission defense for Park, obviously, but it could be really good. So I just think because of the unknown, give me the plus 300. I think it's dog or pass. But yeah, Taira should win. I'm interested to know what you have to say on this one.
Yeah, I think here in this spot, I side with Taira. I would like to get to a Park dog bet, but I think that he has some holes striking on the feet that I think that Taira's going to continue getting better on the feet. I know he's been training in Colorado a lot, getting some different looks. Been with Sandhagen, Carrington Banks, and some of those guys. So I would have to imagine that his striking is going to continue to level up. I thought that the Roy Val loss is obviously a good look and ages really well. But in Park, I don't know enough. I don't know enough. He's done what I thought he's supposed to do versus the matchups that he's gotten. But he's also shown a couple of moments of getting dropped and things of that nature. Not that I think that Taira is just going to whoop his ass on the feet, but I think that Taira is going to have the ability to mix in his striking with his obviously great grappling. I can see Taira getting the back. I can see late sub. I think that Taira is just the better mixed martial artist at this stage of his career. So for me, it's a pass. I'm not parlaying Taira because I do think that Park is solid, does have a bright future. I think this is just way too much too soon.
All right, guys, and that's the show. Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us all. I know we are retiring the BTL Parlay after the last week's debacle, but instead, I saw people comment saying they want us to
miss?
I think
it's probably Peg. He's getting called out on Twitter now because he's missing too much.
I think it was. What was? I can't remember which last week one. What it was.
Chares is out against Costa for Noche.
Boo! That was gonna be a solid fight.
Yeah. So I hit with the under 1.5 for the Carlos Leal fight. He hit with Bryce Mitchell money line. Oh, and you had to place money line after you said like, oh, Richie spread, and all of that shit, and you put her in the part at -185 and it loses.
Yeah. And she died. So I was thinking. So people said they want us to go back to doing the favorite props. What about?
They said the cycle parlay.
That's what I was just about to say. Instead of doing a prop parlay, we should do a cycle parlay. So, guys, if you don't know, a cycle parlay is 1 decision, 1 sub, 1 submission, 1 sub, 1 KO. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna pick the sub. I'm gonna go with Taira sub by sub for my leg.
The only problem with that is I don't think props is out everywhere, so I don't even know if you're gonna be able to parlay them or.
I think it's on DraftKings already.
I'll say Rebecki KO.
Okay, so we're doing Rebecki KO.
I go Vallejos decision.
Vallejos. I actually really like this. So let's see.
I'm gonna try to see what's the price.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now too. I got it on. I think DraftKings has the sub price for you.
Yeah, they don't have the decision for Vallejos. Yeah, we're not going to be able to know exactly what it is, but
all right, we'll still get. We'll look at. So I'll tell you what the sub is for Taira.
Yeah, I guess we can eventually post it on Twitter.
Taira sub is +140.
Yeah, the thing is, I think he can also knock him out. That's the only problem.
Yeah, I don't really like that.
KO is
Park hurt.
KO is +500.
He already took a KO.
Yeah, so if I were to do another sub, no shot Rinya subs, right? Oh, Bashi sub.
Oh yeah, but it's gonna be.
That's really not out anyway. That's gonna
be
minus
-105. I think it's -105 on Bet Online.
No, it's not even out.
Yeah, I don't think that's up. Do they even have a total up for that fight?
No, they don't.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, Peg, we're just gonna post that.
Where the fuck did you get -105 from?
Isn't that how you do handicapping? You make your own line and then you.
Yeah, this guy is fucking crazy.
All right, so we're not gonna do Taira sub. We're gonna do Bashi sub, right?
It's up to you. I mean, it's your leg.
All right, we'll do Bashi sub because I'm gonna probably put a few shekels on Taira sub 345. Okay, so we'll do Bashi sub.
Peg is always crying about screen time and all of that, and he's always taking like 6-7 minutes at the end for nothing.
Literally.
All right. So we're good. Rebecki KO, Vallejos decision, Bashi sub. That's the show, guys. Join the Discord, follow us on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, join these guys' channels and dub clubs and odd shoppers. Obviously, you're going to get bets from PFL we have UFC the whole rest of summer, and we have Dana White Contender Series. Now's the time to join. You're going to get a bunch of bets. We all good?
Sir.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week for Shanghai. We're bringing on Lou Betya.
That is not next week.
That's not next week.
No.
Holy fuck, man! This guy shot. This guy's shy.
It's
when is Shanghai?
We're taking host applications. Yo.
It's next week. It's Fluffy versus Dolidze. We're peg
This
parlay.
guy is cooked.
We're peg parlay Fluffy minus 400 without doing any tape, and it's gonna be said next week when we talk about it.
We will be there no matter what.
Holy
Dude.
shit.
So when is Shanghai?
The week after next.
No.
No, we're not gonna have.
No. The week after next is Chimaev and
Wait, no, yeah, 319. Then
we're gonna have a
Shanghai.
guest for 319. We're gonna
have a guest for Shanghai too, Lou.
Yeah.
But
We'll
be here for Shanghai.
The next part with the guest will be 319. We'll try to get someone that never been on the podcast before.
Yeah, we could do that. All
Yeah,
right,
leave
guys.
in the comments who y'all want.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Any guests that you guys want, drop in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next week. Bye.
All right, good luck. Peace.